And it can also be used to determine if a triangle is a right triangle. In case you forgot, the Pythagorean theorem formula is a fun one. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are our legs and c is our hypotenuse. Okay. If you've forgotten any of these, then you can go ahead and pause, rewind, so that you can write down these pieces of information regarding the Pythagorean theorem. Hit play again when you're ready. All right, let's go ahead and do some practice problems. If you will go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and sketch out, write down the problems, write down the sides that you're given. Don't forget those labels. And if you want to, go ahead and use the formula to solve for C. We're solving for C in these two problems right here. Go ahead and hit pause for now to do that. When you're done and ready to check your answers, hit play again. All right, let's go ahead and check our answers. So on this, we know we're finding C, which is our hypotenuse. So the other two that were given are the leg values. So I can label this one A and this one B, although remember, it doesn't matter. You can label either leg A or B. So we'll go ahead and start here. Leg A is 9. So 9 squared. Leg B is 12. And we're going to use that to find out the value of C. So either using your chart, your brain, or your calculator, 9 squared is 81. 12 squared is 144. Okay. And when we add those two together, we get 225, which is the value of C squared. Now, don't forget, we're trying to find the value of C. So we don't want to forget to take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 225 is 15. Don't forget that label. So the value of our hypotenuse is 15 centimeters. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. So again, we can label the legs, and it doesn't matter which one you label A or B. So if A is 13 squared, and B is 8 squared equals C. 13 squared is 169, 8 squared is 64. And when you add those two together, you get 233. And that's C squared. So again, don't forget, we need C. So we need to undo the square. So we're taking the square root. And when we do that, 233 is going to give us an irrational number. So we'll go ahead and just round to the nearest tenth like we've been doing. And this comes out to be about 15.3. Don't forget the label. 15.3 feet. If you need to, go ahead and pause the video so that you can copy down the correct answers and all of the steps. Press play again when you're ready to move on. All right, for these, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem to determine if these are right triangles. So we keep the same formula. Remember, for these, we need to figure out which one is our C value, because C is the most important. That it's our longest value, so this is our C value for number 3. So we'll say that this is A and this is B. So 6 squared plus 9 squared equals 12 squared. 36. 9 squared is 81. 12 squared is 144. When I add 36 and 81, I'm getting 117. So no, this is not a right triangle. Because 117 does not equal 144. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 4 here. We've got 12, 13, and 5 feet. 13 is our largest one, so that has to be our C value. Doesn't matter which one we label A or B, it matters for C. So if A is 12, and B is 5, and C is 13, let's see if we get a true statement. So 12 squared is 144, 5 squared is 25, and 13 squared is 169. So if we add 144 and 25, we get 169. So yes, this is a right triangle. Because 169 does equal 169. Again, go ahead and pause to copy down the correct answers, steps, formula, and responses before you move on. Okay, here we are at the distance formula. This one's probably not as fresh in your head. So the distance formula is used to calculate the length of a line on the coordinate plane. Okay, but without graphing. So we use this when given 2 points on the line. Our distance formula, this one you probably don't remember, D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus the square root of y2 minus y1 squared. Let's take a look at some practice problems. Okay, so if we have these 2 points, this is set 1, so we'll label this x1 and y1, and we'll label this x2 and y2. If you haven't finished copying down from this page, then you probably want to pause and copy it down. So, a reminder that our formula is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And we'll go ahead and start just filling in our blanks. Okay, so x2 is 6 minus x1 is 2. y2 is 8 minus y1 is 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 minus 3 is 5. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. So this gives us the square root of 41, or if you wanted to go a step further, we can say that it's about 6.4 units. But you don't have to do this piece right there. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at this second one. So set 1 is x1, y1. Set 2 is x2, y2. And we'll go ahead and quickly write out the formula because why not? And that way we're just filling in blanks. So x2 is 11 minus x1 is negative 7. Y2 is 3 minus y1 is negative 2. Okay, don't forget those negatives. Okay, so 11 minus a negative 7. Remember, minus a negative, we keep change. So this comes out to be 18 plus 3 minus a negative 2. Again, it's keep change. And 3 plus 2 is 5. 18 squared is 324. 5 squared is 25. And when we add those together, we get 349, and you can leave it like that, or you can put that into your calculator, and it comes out to give us about 18.7 units. So if you didn't get those, go ahead and pause the problems and go ahead and write down the steps. All right, my darlings. So your homework is, as always, posted on Google Classroom. And it's listed as Wednesday homework. I'm kind of tricky like that. Okay. The answers will be posted Thursday at 10 o'clock, so you can check your work. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to start the review, the formal review for Unit 4, Part 1. It's 2 pages, so we'll have you be working on one page and then the next one. So be looking for that tomorrow. Please email myself or Mrs. Reed if you have any questions.